welcome to the Best City Skylines creations of 2022. It has been a phenomenal year to be playing and creating in City Skylines with all the new DLCs, content creator packs, and free updates we got to the game. In addition to all the creativity and ingenuity coming from our wonderful community of mod and asset creators. I'm your host, Joy, and we're doing things a little different this year. We are picking from 3 different categories, highlighting different styles of builds. We are going to look at heavily modded, and vanilla. Let's jump in together and explore the Best City Skylines creations of 2022. Oh, and stick around to the very end because we have an honorary mention this year. Kicking off the best cities of 2022 is Osterius by Across. This is the first of 3 heavily modded builds we are highlighting this year. Osterius is a futuristic city built in a coastal tropical environment. The most important structure is the huge space elevator in the bay, which is connected to the city with a flying train. In the city, there is a big transportation hub built on many vertical levels. The city also has an extensive pedestrian-only network separated from all the other networks going to all corners of the city. Overall, the whole project focuses on public transportation, interesting technical builds, and last but not least, colorful nightlights. This city allows your imagination to run wild with what you can do within City Skylines. We are now in Nishimashi, a Japanese-style city by PHTN Gaming. This is our second heavily modded build that we are featuring this year. And if you're paying close attention, one of the unique things about this build is this city is actually built on the foundation of Westdale, which actually was built in 2017. This city is enormously large, but it is meticulously detailed down to every last little inch. This has a massive city center, and it's surrounded by many small cities and villages, which are completely connected by many highways, as well as train, trams, and bus routes. This city will continue to be expanded throughout 2023 to the maximum limits of the game. So keep your eyes on this ever-expanding project. We've now been transported to Ia and Amodi Bay in Santorini, Greece. The third heavily modded build we are featuring this year is Europe by Dirty H. Flexing the full power of the workshop and the asset creating community, Dirty H is building Europe, taking inspiration from Italy, Spain, UK, Greece, and France. You will find tiny villages, small towns that grow into cities in this expansive project. Today we are getting just a peek of the detail and care that is going into this massive undertaking. These white plastered buildings of Santorini are iconic. And this little town of Amodi Bay is actually where you can get the best seafood in Greece. This is going to be a project to keep your eye on well into 2023. Kicking off our first of 3 modded builds we are highlighting this year is Ilos by Overcharged Egg. Ilos is heavily inspired by the Phoenix Valley in Arizona, and it is hard to believe, but this is Overcharged Egg's first time building a city using mods. The enormous blankets of grids that you will find in the American Southwest that inspired this build has translated extremely well into City Skylines. You will find many modular style builds throughout the city, a creative repurposing of vanilla assets, along with a wide collection of quintessential rural Southwest American towns. Ilos is definitely the city to inspire your next desert build. We are now in Crater Lake by CityZilla. This is our second modded build we are highlighting this year. Crater Lake is a massive city set in a tropical environment, built on the lagoon shore map. This city has something for everyone. This heavily detailed and aesthetically pleasing city was actually built with its citizens in mind. This city seamlessly spreads across the entire map while allowing its citizens to live without a car due to its massive mass transit system. Crater Lake also caught everyone's eye this year with its unique airport layout. In addition, Crater Lake gives us multiple city centers and multiple downtowns, all surrounded by mass transit. In addition, we got some really unique industrial builds. Crater Lake is definitely a city to put on the map. We now find ourselves in the countryside of Ordon by Few Candy. This will be our third and final modded build that we are going to be highlighting this year. Ordon is a lightly modded, detail-heavy city which focuses around realistic city design while still adhering to the game mechanics. Inspiration has been taken from various locations across the US and Europe, but the city is primarily built using vanilla plus DLC building assets combined with a few mods and a ton of workshop props to bring together this vibrant, unique city. The city focuses around cultural and social areas such as a Formula One racetrack, movie studios, and a ton of city monuments. This is all brought alive by a bustling tourism infrastructure and a functional and efficient mass transit system. Ordon is definitely worth a visit. We now find ourselves in Verde Beach by City Planner Plays. This is the first of 3 vanilla builds that we are highlighting this year. Verde Beach was originally founded back in 2020 by the Sterling and Lewis families to support the Lewis Lumber Company. Some 200 years later, the sprawling city still has notes of its history, but has now developed into a major metropolis. The city's economic base is now tourism, but it hasn't completely abandoned its roots as an industrial powerhouse. It is also a major player in higher education with the world-class Goodall Institute and the Verde Beach Pyrotechnic, situated in the heart of the community. This build is mostly vanilla, with mods allowed for the city to sprawl to 81 tiles, as well as a few assets that the community has created for the build. Now we are in Evergreen County by Imperator. This is the second vanilla build we are featuring this year. This beautiful, realistic city is focusing on green spaces, a vast public transportation network, and good walkability over making profit. But the city can sustain itself nonetheless. The intention of this build was to demonstrate that you could build a beautiful city with no mods, just a little patience and some unique building techniques. I think with a population of 70,000 Sims and a traffic flow of 84% and all the beauty that we see in this build, that goal has been achieved. The third vanilla project we are highlighting this year is Shire by Osterius. In Shire, you will find a few historic parts of the region with medieval street patterns and a historic manor all blended together with newer parts of the town with grids and taller buildings and more modern city planning elements. Inspiration for this project comes from the United Kingdom's Midlands. And the highlight of this build is actually the airport, which sees a very high number of incoming and outgoing flights on a regular basis. Yet another amazing build showing us what we can do without any mods. On to our honorable mention for the year is Pittsburgh by Gaseous Stranger. This is a heavily modded full-scale version of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. This project is incredibly unique. The plan is to build the city to the present day within a high level of detail in order to apply various city planning fixes, like public transportation network improvements, increasing pedestrian and bike friendliness, as well as freeway diets and redevelopment projects. The plan is to envision what a future version of the city could look like through an optimistic, urbanistic point of view. This is another one to keep your eye on in 2023. Through viewing these 10 phenomenal builds, we can see that no matter how you like to play City Skylines, you can create something amazing. Again, I'm Joy. Thank you for allowing me to be your host for this amazing tour of the best cities of 2022. I can't wait to see what we all create together in 2023.